Hello, everybody. Welcome to Game Day Picks. I'm Tony Tier from Tony'sPicks.com with you here Monday through Friday here at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Then we're live free picks for you today here for today's action. So make sure you like, subscribe, and of course, you want to set those notifications. We want you guys live with us. Get the best numbers with these picks here. You get them here live here on our show. Make note of just a few things here. You can save 20% off all premium pick packages. When you use that promo code TonyT at checkout, you can access our page by clicking the link there in the description. Click the All Cappers tab and then go ahead and get signed up. Always love to hear from you guys, so post your picks in the comments if you would. And also make note of our site, Tony'sPicks.com. We are a multi-capper site showcasing top cappers in our industry. Click the links to the hot cappers, get signed up to some of our long-term passes there. You'll see top performers here up here on the site, like Tiffany's been on absolute fire, Mindy as well. Pravi's doing great work, Team Steam as well. Click the links, get signed up to some of our long-term passes. You'll scroll down, you'll see our featured plays for today. Our best bets, well, each capper can release one best bet per sport per day. We're locked and loaded here for Monday's action. $15 premium picks promotional. Each capper can designate one of those plays off their card as a $15 premium pick just to introduce their service to new and existing customers. And you see many up there. Our 3-packs offer great value as well. We're loaded here as well. Look at the morning steam. Mindy in there with the 3-pack. We've got Pravi, Ramon's in there. Paul as well. So click the links, get signed up. You'll find also, if you prefer, you may purchase the plays a la carte on our pick ticker with team versus team information. Some late steam up there. These are plays that are released between 10 minutes and 2 hours before game time. And they'll hit at a higher percentage, so we've got to keep an eye on those on our pick ticker. All right, let's get this one underway. With us today here on Game Day Picks, we've got Ramon Scott and Mindy Hahn. All right, let's get underway here with Game Day Picks. Let's go ahead and welcome in Mindy Hahn. You'll find her over at Tony'sPicks.com. You'll check her out all over the leaderboards. She's been on absolute fire here for 2023. I think we're ready to bring in Mindy right now. Mindy, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. How are you?
Doing great. All right, here we go tonight. Big Ten Network. They're trying to make up these games for Northwestern, a ride-in game because of the COVID protocols they got hit with with that team tonight. Northwestern laying 2.5 against Wisconsin, total 6.5.
Yeah, so both Wisconsin and Northwestern come into this at 12-5. Wisconsin has actually won, this last 7 meetings here straight up between these two teams. In the last one, Wisconsin actually won 82-76 here. Northwestern, they've had about a week off now, like you said, because of these, COVID illnesses they came down with. But if you take a look at where Northwestern ranks in the Big Ten, they are sitting at 2nd in field goal defense percentage. So again, are they going to be, a rusty Northwestern team or a well-rested one? Now, Wisconsin, on the other hand, they rank 13th in field goal percentage here on the defensive side. But in this Northwestern team, they play really well at home. They average beating their opponents by 10.2 points. I think this Northwestern team definitely needs a little help, maybe shooting the ball here. But again, if you take a look at, where they rank defensively, they can hang in there with the best of them. They also lead the Big Ten in turnover margin here this season and out-rebound the Badgers here. As they're last in the Big Ten. I think that Northwestern here is going to be able to, keep this one close with that defense, turnover margin, and big on the boards here today. I'll take Northwestern at home, -2.5. No, I'll take on the money line. How about that?
Yeah, money line. Mindy came in money line here. Don't take the spread there. Just go money line -140 here against the Wisconsin Badgers. Of course, the Wisconsin, a team that has had some issues here away from home this year for this Wisconsin Badger team that lost their past 2 road games. At Illinois, lose by 10, get pounded by 18 there over at Indiana. Just got past Indiana by 3 on last Tuesday. So they've had some struggles here. Wisconsin, as you mentioned here with the Badgers, a lot of it's here on the offensive end, really struggling at the line, on the glass, and even giving up 3-pointers this year, giving up 38% to their Big Ten opponents.
Right. I mean, I think that's kind of what it comes down to. I mean, maybe some of those numbers are skewed a little bit on Wisconsin side because they had their, one of their main guys, Wall, he was out for a while. So they've been playing better since he's, come back here. Northwestern, I mean, basically they have what it takes to win. They just need to get things straightened out here a little bit offensively. And I think offense comes much easier than defense, if you ask me. And Northwestern, they've actually have been shooting above average here. These last 3 games. Well, I should say they have a better average at home, right? They're averaging 74 points compared to their season long average of like 68. So I think they can definitely have what it takes here to beat Wisconsin, even if they're getting a little bit better, getting healthy.
All right, we got Mindy here, Northwestern minus 140 against Wisconsin. This one will have a start time here of early start time, 6:30 Eastern time on Big Ten Network. All right, Mindy, let's take a look over at Tony's picks for today's action. We do have, I was going to say there's football. No football on Monday, right? No football for Monday for a while now, right? What to do? Well, there's some college basketball. We got NBA, NHL as well on the board. Look at the numbers here for the last 30 days. 3,000 units of profit. Mindy has just been clobbering the bookmakers left and right here. Been on absolute fire. Of course, we do have, as we said, college hoops. We got NBA, hockey as well. What do you have going over at Tony's Picks?
Yeah, I kind of feel like I get my life back a little bit once, the football season is over, because I feel like it monopolizes, so much, time for me, since I would say football is probably my favorite sport to watch here. But today I got 2 plays in the NBA, up 466 units there this month. And then I have 4 plays in college basketball. So, I think I'll have, something here to do this evening. But I won my one game that I had yesterday, up 1,099 units in college basketball. So again, I feel like I'm really hitting the card, nicely as of late. Been having a good run here to start the year off, planning on keeping that up. Like you showed, plus 3,000 over the last month, plus 967 here over the last week. So, I definitely think it's a time for you to go ahead and take a look at some of these longer term packages. You can definitely go ahead and pick up one of these packages here today that will include a lot of basketball. But you might as well go ahead and get with me on some playoffs on, we can get to the Super Bowl, all that kind of good stuff. So I think it's a good time to get on one of those longer term packages. And then also make sure you use the promo code TonyT at checkout as well.
That's right. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save 20% off all premium pick packages, individual plays, as well as long-term passes. You can use it as much as you like. Right now, Mindy over at Tony'sPicks.com. Action up here from packs here from a 5-pack here, NBA and college basketball together, as well as a college basketball 3-pack on the board. Best bets here from the NBA and college basketball, so go ahead and get on board with Mindy. But instead of buying these plays individually, as Mindy alluded to, why not get the longer-term pass? You can get that, try her out here for that weekly all-sports pass. Get 7 days of plays here from Mindy. All of her premium plays for 7 days. That would include all her NBA, all her college basketball, NHL, and of course the NFL Championship Sunday is included with that 7-day all sports pass. You could use that promo code TonyT at checkout, and you will save a 20% off, $36 savings off that price right now over at Tony's Picks. So go ahead and get signed up with Mindy and use that promo code. All right, Mindy, we also put together a Twitter account for you over at Tony's Picks. Mindy, lots of content up there as well. The morning steam show continues to roll on with a nice show today covering the games from today's action, as well as we can catch you as well over on the Discord.
That's right. So make sure you get in Discord right now, because we go ahead and put all of the pertinent information that you need. So like today, we have in there all of the plays that we came up consensus-wise on Morning Steam, so you can check those out in Discord. I also give a preview of which games we're going to be, showing on this show here, and then also kind of a teaser of what we have here on Twitter. So you can find most of the handicappers here on Twitter at Tony's Picks Mindy. You can find mine where I have another play for you in college basketball. So make sure you go ahead and check that one out as well. And then also make sure you find me almost every morning, every Saturday through Thursday with Ramon, Scott, our team leader there for Team Steam, where we go through almost the full card of the game. So we definitely do the full cards for the ones we can handle. So it's pretty much everything minus college basketball, because sometimes we're unable to get through all 153 games or so. But yeah, so today we had quite a few consensus plays. Make sure you check out the replays. You can find us, all over, social media, Twitter. You can find replays there. Also, replays on YouTube itself. So if you have a particular game that you're trying to, take a look at, you can just type in that name and the morning steam, and you will find something there. You can also listen to us on our podcast. We have lots of folks listening at work, so might as well, while you have time on your lunch hour, give it a try, or on your ride home, might be able to be, easy listening while maybe you're doing some data input, something like that. Nice way to pass the time, and then, also get to where you can get some consensus plays and, build up that bankroll as well. So yeah, join Discord. We're having a good time. Give me your player props. I get free bets all the time on these, online, sites here. So, I don't study player props, so I need help. So make sure you give me some.
That's right. Get on. That's right. Check out Mindy there over at Tony's Picks. Mindy is the Twitter account there. Of course, the morning steam as well. The show today, you can go back and listen to it on archive, or you can also do a search for team versus team and then type in morning steam, and you'll get those individual plays because they're all also up there in video format. And of course, our Discord. I just pinned the link to the Discord. A lot of people ask, "Where's the link? How do I get on Discord?" Well, just go there and check it out. We've cleaned it up a little bit over the weekend. We've had to remove some people out of there who we just felt just aren't right for our community. So you can pay it a visit, and it is going to be moderated. And as moderators, I think right now we just have to. We got to see where it's going. We did take a lot of input here from some of the listeners, but our own personal feelings that we have to clean it up a little bit too much on the spam side, a little bit too much of the self promoting. We're not really into that WWE in your face attitude era type of conversation. That's really not going to fit in our community. I don't think, with the 50-year-old. No, not with the 50-year-old guy with the baseball cap, like that stone cold attitude type of nonsense. You'll see. We're gonna moderate that way. We want intelligent conversation in there. We don't want people pounding their chests like they're stone cold, on the mic. Some people still living in those '90s eras. They like to wear their caps backwards even though they're mid-50s. What are you gonna do? So anyway, all right, Mindy, so we can catch you over there on the morning steam every day. I'm sorry, Saturday through Thursday, and you continue that great success. And we'll talk with you again on tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. We'll see ya.
You got it. Mindy on here on Game Day Picks. All right, we'll continue on here on our show, guys. Yeah, it was our first few weeks. I think we're being a little too nice about things, but we got things under control now. But again, we may be dealing with some people that when they remember the kind of a behavior there with those folks is when they get removed or banned, they will come up with other screen names for at least for the next 2 weeks, writing nonsense, and we're just going to have to work at it and get them out of here. But after 2 weeks, they get tired because it's more work to create a new email, create a new screen name, and go out there than just hit the ban button, right? So we're going to have to deal with some of that for the next 2 weeks. But I've experienced with this, so I already know how it rolls. So that's what you'll expect here for the next couple of weeks. But we'll just the ban is as we get the clowns in the chat room. All right, let's continue on here on the show. It's time to welcome in Ramon. You'll find him over at Tony'sPicks.com. Catch him on the mornings here, 9 a.m. Eastern time. At 9 a.m. Eastern time here with the morning steam. Of course, over on the Discord, very active as well. He does have permissions. We just got to figure out how to use them. I'm going to give Mindy full permissions as well, so we can moderate faster. So let's go ahead and bring in Ramon in right now. Ramon, what's happening?
Hey, Tony. Yeah, just hanging out here, clowning around.
That's right. Just a bunch of clowns around here, right?
I thought you were talking about me.
I know, right?
I'm still here.
You're still here. Yeah, I know. We're still here.
Get rid of me.
No, cannot. Yeah, we can't get rid of Ramon. No, not at all. But anyway, we have permissions. I'm going to give Ramon, Mindy, and myself full permissions on that Discord as well as on the live chat. Ramon has it on the live chat, but we just
that was me spamming.
That's right. We had to correct Ramon right away. Well, there was a hidden message behind there. That's very funny. It's just we want people to stay on our channel. That's what we want. But anyway, we'll get underway here. NBA League Pass.
Go on 24 hours.
I know. Thank you for taking a shot at our cappers this morning. I think it was much needed. I hope our GM heard that. I have a solution, but he doesn't like me because I'm a little more heavy-handed with it. But anyway, here we go tonight, 8 Eastern time. Bulls here to host the Hawks here. The Bulls here laying a point total 239.5.
Oh, well, we'll see what happens tonight with these two. Pretty big total, certainly, Tony, but I don't know. These two teams right now, not much defense, so I may think that it may reach the top of this range between the Hawks and the Bulls. The Hawks have Well, they've started to heat up a little bit thanks to the combo of not only Trey Young, who's been back in lineup for a while, looking good, and also DeJounte Murray. He's finally fulfilling those expectations when the Hawks acquired him before the season, and they've worked out things pretty well between Young and Murray. So things are really starting to peak offensively for Atlanta. They still got the same kind of defensive level, I would think. So I have this one maybe a high scoring game. Look, they've gone over, Atlanta has, in 27 of their last 45 games, 15 and 9 to the over on the road this year, including four straight games with the average finish close to 250 points per game in those last four games. They've given up 120 points or more in three straight games. Meanwhile, the Bulls have gone over in six of their last eight, and they're 10 and 4 to the over off of a straight up win, as well as 6-1 and 1 to the over against sub 500 road teams. Four of the last six meetings between these two teams have gone, well, over this number pretty much. I think one of them might have landed right on 240, which is still over this number now with the tick down by half a point to 239 and a half. They've played one over and one under this year, but back on December 11th, it was 123, 122 in favor of the Hawks. The Hawks were favored in that one at home by about 5 points or so. Did not get the cover in that one. Pretty strong pace of play between these two teams. You'll find them both about, I think, in the top seven or so when it comes to pace of play. And another metric would be that both teams are near the bottom in location effective field goal percentage. That's giving up field goals in the positions that they are expected to give up a certain percentage. So as long as these guys get their shots tonight against very subpar defensive teams, should feel like that should be the case. You've got to think that Young and Murray, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, even inside, I think, where maybe we think that there might be a little bit of resistance. I don't know. Vucevic and maybe John Collins as well probably can be as effective too in this one. So I don't see them stopping each other here, Tony. And it was going to be a premium when I had my early numbers here, which showed that it got steamed up certainly, and the send out was pretty low too at about 237 and a half. But I think at a couple points over, I'll take it just a notch down, but I'll still go over here for my free pick on the show where we've had a pretty good run of late. So let's go over tonight in Atlanta and Chicago.
All right, Ramon says go over the total here with the Atlanta Hawks and the Chicago Bulls here tonight in tonight's game between these two teams. With the Bulls, of course, we're looking here at go back and look at these injuries. Look to me that Atlanta's going to field pretty much a healthy squad here. This team has been banged up a lot. I mean, a lot in the past few games here, but it looked to me like they were getting about healthy. So have the Chicago Bulls. Of course, both of these teams, can have some issues defensively, especially the Hawks on the road. It's really tough to pack them on the road. You look over their past 8 road games, they're allowing about 114 points per 100 possessions while scoring 114 per 100. And, the Bulls are actually at home putting up some points here, 117 points per 100 possessions, but they're giving them up as well, 114 per 100. So just look at the numbers here. It looks to me that this one definitely would trend to the over, especially the way both teams are defensively.
Yeah, and when they've clicked up together too, I mean, that's been kind of the key between these two teams that they seem to be going over. Long term, they are an under, so those numbers would indicate that maybe these two might have a solution for one another, but I don't see why at this point, given their current state of affairs defensively. I think that against reflective in that last game, well, 2 games back, they came back 2 nights later. Probably had a look at one another and ended up going for just 218. But again, that was, they played that little series where they're playing 2 games in a span of 3 days. So maybe they had a look, and now where we're starting to see those numbers go back up again league-wide, just when we thought that maybe it was trending down, here come all the scoring again in the league. So, it is going to slow down, Tony, but it's going to be when we get to crunch time in the season. I think that's when we'll start to see some defense. Maybe the second half was supposed to bring a little bit of downturn, I think, in the scoring. But just look across the board on these totals today. I mean, everything today is in the 235 range or higher. There's only one total I think that might even be under 234-ish, and that's Boston and Orlando. And Boston, we know, is one of the teams that comes out firing. So again, no signs of the scoring to stop at this point league wide. It's been quite startling, quite actually. I don't know what the league can do. Maybe this is what they want. It is maybe more exciting. I joked about it on the show the other day when, I mean, Tony, we used to watch those Eastern Conference Finals back in the early '90s, right? I mean, there were totals. Tony, I promise you, everybody, there were like 174s, 178s when we got into the playoff rounds. When you'd have Detroit, right, Chicago, the Knicks, that was standard, especially when you'd see those teams that specialized in it. Now we're dealing with totals that range 60 points higher, so just crazy. I hope.
Well, those were the days. Those were the days when you had most starting lineups, guys in their late 20s, early to mid 30s. Right? It's been a change. I remember there were playoff games in the 60s. Wasn't that Heat Nets game in the 90s when I think the Nets were held in the 50s and the Heat were in the 60s. You don't see especially that old Barkley rule, and you just don't, and the hand checking. They don't allow a lot of physical contact anymore with the ball handlers and the guards, and that was really what kept the veterans in the league. They found, hey, I've been in the league long enough. I'm going to get away with a little bit more with the refs, and the refs kind of allowed them to, right? They allowed the contact. And so I remember back in the day when Tony Parker would drive on the Lakers and score layups the whole way, the next game, I think in their playoff series. That one of those series turned around because the Lakers put him on his butt every time he went to the hole.
Well, what I see right now, Tony, as far as and someone mentioned it, one of our chatters had mentioned it too. Because I had suggested, the only solution, what you're getting in the fatigue factor, the rest factor, the injury, the rest management, if you will. Because they put these trackers on the players. They're running twice as far as they did in games back then because of pace of play. So one suggestion I was saying, expand rosters. That would take a whole deal with the players union and things like that. But maybe the game should be run more like a hockey game, right? More players taking the floor so you can save the wear and tear on these guys. If they're playing running twice as far, they're playing basically twice as many games as what was expected back in the day. So that's why maybe we're seeing also less defensive intensity there, faster pace of play. We just need more players, deeper rotations because even when you get those injury management games, then you're faced with tackling a team with just 7 or 8 players when these teams end up resting a bulk of players on those rest days. So the league has its work cut out for them into what I don't even know if it's being considered a problem at this point, but
they're playing too fast. They're playing. The thing is, when you start drafting high schoolers in there and you're putting them in the game, they're so much fast. They have faster recovery time. They can go fast the whole game. Where a lot of these players have logged so many minutes on the court, and they just don't have their tendons start to wear out quickly. If you're playing you're playing at this fast pace, you're going to feel pushing your tendons to the max here, and your joints, your cartilage, everything, muscles as well. So this is what we're seeing, this fast pace come in from all the 18-year-olds that are coming in. And many of these young players come in pretty much now NBA ready, it seems like the way, with these current rules.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Again, the young players are changing the dynamic of the game, certainly. But, it just comes in general. That's the way the game is being officiated as well. You don't have... Yeah, I guess there's still the ticky-tackness of the fouls being called, but again, the off-ball screens, the way the ball is moved around so effectively. I mean, some of the more, the good teams show the way it can be played, but I don't know. You just don't see the refs kind of allowing that.
So it's the rules, right? We have sort of like the soccer yellow card, red card rule now in the NBA, where you can get carded, right? If the fouls seem too hard, right?
Oh, I would guess that would be the case, no doubt about it. And again, not much defense between these two teams. Certainly, they've shown certain vulnerability. And like I said, I have the up arrows on Young, Murray, and Collins, DeMar, Levine, and Vucevic here. So I would expect it could be another one of those 250s tonight, as they did back in the first meeting of the season between the two.
There we go. Hawks and Bulls over 239 and a half. This one will have a start time here of 8 p.m. Eastern time. It just seems now that Trae Young's a crusty old veteran now. That's the way it seems now in the league. All right, Ramon, let's take a look over at TonySpeaks.com for tonight's action here. As Ramon's still a little, still steaming here for that morning show. See if we can get him rolling here tonight. Ramon over on the site today, doing great work in the NBA. 1,221 units of profit in the NBA. That's all documented over at Tony's Picks. Look at NBA on the board tonight. We got some college basketball as well. Hockey. What do you have going over at Tony's Picks?
Yeah, Tony and I focused in on a 5-pack in the NBA, and they're going to be a lot of totals. So that's the way I'm looking at it. How do I feel about these totals? Maybe you'll find out by getting my 5-pack. Hey, all of our picks over at Tony's Picks are documented, so there's no way around it. I mean, that's what we do. We document these picks. We come on here, make these plays all on the record. We don't switch our play in the middle of the game, change the results. It's a third-party documented source. So that's the way you run this game. That's the way that you earn the trust of the people. You own up to your wins. You own up to your losses. And right now, you look at the handicappers on our site, you're seeing a lot of winning. You can't go on there selling picks if you're clocking in at 40%. You got to show profit. You got to show good results. And that's what we do over at Tony's Picks. So I got a 5-pack in my best one of my best sports. You see it right there in the NBA. My numbers of late, very, very solid. Built it up last year in the second half of the season as well. I'm sure that'll be the case again heading into the postseason, where I ended up crushing it again too. So, going to be a good run here towards the end of the season in the NBA. A lot of storylines coming up, especially once we get past just our 3 games left in football, unfortunately. Probably come in later, Tony. This is a weird card in college basketball. And, Mindy and I had a couple of agreements, certainly on our show today, where we're absolutely destroying, quite honestly. If you look at those numbers, too, there's no making those up when we go on the morning steam show. Mindy and I make all those plays. We put them in the system to document them, and you see the impossible numbers that we're putting up. I'm fortunate to have Mindy as my co-host, and starting off the show with her pick each time. That's what I get to choose from, agree or pivot the other way. But we put up some great numbers there, and we're hot in the hockey too. So I don't even have a card in hockey. We're involved in 3 plays with Team's Team. So I always have to include those as my picks over there at Tony's Picks. That's what we do. We give out the free picks on the show, but we do document them, and they're for sale right now at Tony'sPicks.com, where you can pick up a package from either me or Team's Team or Mindy. So right now, Tony, just that 5-pack in the NBA. I think I got something cooking in college, but it's coming on the extra board, and it's just a little tougher to get to some of those games right on because of the nature of those teams. Need a little bit of extra digging to make sure, because you don't see as many of their games. Really just a lot of statistical information when it comes to the MEAC and the SWAC games that come on a Monday card like this. So I do like a lot of those games, and I'm going to have something, I do believe, in the HBCUs tonight. So there you see the numbers. I mean, they speak for themselves, Tony. And pick up my 3-day. If you would have did that this weekend, you had a pretty good run yesterday. I swept both plays in the NFL. I didn't need to get wishy-washy there. Took them straight out. Bengals, Niners, no problem. So just played 2 plays yesterday, despite my usual tendency for high volume. Just stuck with the NFL, and of course, clean sweep on the board there. So please pick up my 5-pack, $35. But use promo code TonyT at checkout. That saves you 20%. And my NBA is running pretty good, so I'd expect some good sales heading into game time tonight with that 5-pack in the NBA. So it's going to be a good week, Tony, as we get ready for conference championship Sunday. With we had a lot of deliberation throughout the season, but look who we've ended up with, some pretty good teams heading into the Final Four in the NFL. So appreciate you, man.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Ramon Scott over at Tony'sPicks.com. Great results here, as you see here from the NBA. 1,221 units of profit in the NBA. That's all documented here as basketball. Now comes the focus as we kind of willing down the NFL to just 3 games left here in the next 2 weeks. Or next 3 weeks, actually. 3 weeks. Because we have that week bye here in the NFL. So a good time to get on board with Ramon here. As you can see, the great units he's produced here in the NFL. And NBA, I should say, over the past 30 days. Remember last year, he had a fantastic run in the NBA around this time of the year heading into the playoffs. So get on board with Ramon's 5-pack tonight here from the NBA. A 5-pack from the NBA. Get on board. That is profit guaranteed, meaning it must turn a profit, or the amount you purchase is credit back in your account for a site credit. That is profit guarantee. Also, as we mentioned here, the longer term passes could serve you well. That 7-day pass is a great one to go with here on a Monday here, because this will get you all of Ramon's premium plays for 7 days. It's NBA, it's college basketball, NHL, of course the NFL, right? The championship series here, both championship games here on Sunday. Ramon coming off a sweep of the NFL yesterday, so get on board there with that 7-day pass. Also peripheral sports included, UFC as well as tennis, as Ramon's in action here with the tennis as well. You'll see plays from him there. We've got the Australian Open going off, and maybe if he caught up on his sleep, maybe he'll get to watch some of these tournaments overnight and get some of those plays there from Ramon there from ATP. From the Australian Open. All right, Ramon will also put together a Twitter account for you over at Tony's Picks Ramon. That morning Steam show, good show today. Of course, with Mindy there, with the good coverage of the card for today's action, and of course as well, we can find you as well on our Discord account that we have linked there on our chat room.
Yeah, appreciate what you were saying. I mean, no problem. No skin off of my back. Just when you think you have a friend or give them an opportunity to showcase their skills, how they turn their back on you, and stab you in the back. So you know what to do with friends like that. They're not worth having, right? That's just the way it is. So we'll get back to action with Team Steam, get back on the horse. And, well, what can you say? I mean, especially the run we're having right now in hockey, Tony. We went 7-0 on Saturday, 3-0 yesterday, 2-1 in between that with our NHL picks. And we got a chat room that loves hockey big time.
Yes.
So that's worked out really good, and those numbers are proven. I mean, you can say all you want, you can talk all the trash you want, but all we do is go on there and pick the games. Right now in hockey, it seems like we can't. My picks yesterday, like I said, I only had 2 picks on the premium, and I almost couldn't miss on the show. You can go back and watch it yourselves. I don't know if anybody was paying attention, but I don't have the exact record, but it might have been all the games. I might have been 2 losses. I don't know. It was really obscene. I'm almost embarrassed to say how good it was. But yeah, Tony, so I got a pick today over there on social media, being the game between Bethune-Cookman and Alcorn State, talking about some of those schools. Take a look at that one, another free pick. And I have 2 videos up on the site, embedded on Tony'sPicks.com in the same direction. I got Norfolk State, Morgan State, Maryland Eastern Shore, North Carolina Central. Take a look at those MEAC games there on Tony'sPicks.com. A couple more videos, little preview, a couple trends, and promotion of our sponsor as well. So more free picks. That's what we do. You don't have to pay for them if you don't want to, but we are here with those picks over at Tony'sPicks.com. Absolutely our best picks every day over at Tony's Picks. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout. We'll be back with more morning steam. No problem. I mean, you guys are maybe making too much of it or whatever, but hey, even I know when to cut the ties. I mean, I've given some people a long rope, give them every chance in the world, but man, if you're not smart enough to figure out where are you going to end up in life, really? So, yeah, maybe I've ended up in YouTube on a box with Tony T, but this is where I'm going to be. This is where you're going to find me from here on out, probably even more. So you might as well make friends with me if you want to hang around. Tony's the boss. We got the GM. I'm just an independent contractor here, but when I find a place I like, I usually dig in for the long haul. And my track record of just employment in general shows that when I'm happy somewhere, I've stayed there a very, very long time. Basically in my, 3 or 4 jobs that I've had. So in my mid 50s, I basically had 3 or 4 jobs. Pretty much hanging around probably 10 years until Tony's old and gray,
Yeah.
and I am
And,
too.
and
I'm
you don't wear
already.
your cap backwards, do you?
I'm about to. Yep.
Oh, you're about to. Okay. All right, guys. To get on board here with Ramon over at Tony's Picks and get on board with his 1 week pass. And, of course, that 5-pack tonight from the NBA where he's been on absolute fire. All right, Ramon, I've been there many times getting, it's not it's happening many, many times here on channel. I've been on this racket. Actually, I started on sports radio. Funny when we were bringing up that Tony Parker, because I remember I was involved very heavily with the sports radio show with Kurt Rambis. Was always I was one of the top LA sports talk stations. I did a lot of work for them and web work. And I remember with Kurt Rambis was this, we would get a lot of we would get all this stuff. And that was one of the things, one of the sports personality told Rambis, this was off the air, he goes, man, next time Tony Parker goes to the hole, you better just make sure you land on his butt. And what happens next game? He lands on his butt and Lakers took over the series. But I remember that several years ago. But yeah, bring back some of those memories. The 90s of those low-scoring games, and when you can get away with the hard fouls, which you can't do that anymore in the league. A lot has changed in the league. The hard foul is one of the big ones, and that's a lot of changes in the league. But again, it's a faster-paced game. I'm just watching a replay of this Memphis Laker game. Look how fast they get the ball up court. Look how fast they get. It's just like Lower Marymount speed, Ramon. It's just what it is.
No, it's entertaining. It's entertaining, and there will be defense. I mean, we see it. We'll see some of those games. Look, maybe the teams that are playing defense might be a little bit underrated. Like right now, you see Miami starting to build a little bit something here. They might not have enough offense.
Yeah, the
To get
shooting,
it done. They
3-point
might be
shooting.
able to, but still they can alter their game just a little bit, maybe to make it uncomfortable for someone like that. So I think Miami, and I think if it looked at a team like that out west, a team that's totally underachieved, but can play a little more defense on a moment's notice as a team like Dallas. So we'll see. I mean, the numbers don't necessarily indicate that they can come back and get involved and be a part of it, but those are the teams to maybe be on the lookout for the playoff upset. I would think when we get there, teams that can change the pace a little bit and make it uncomfortable.
Well, we thought that the case. I mean, one series comes to mind was that Raptors Philadelphia. The Raptors, they play defense. They're going to stop. They had no shot in that. They got pounded in that series against Philly. That was the one team. Oh, this is the defensive team that's going to come in here and make noise, be the upset. Didn't happen there against the 76ers.
Yeah, and I think the Sixers might look. I mean, when you got the big man in there, I mean, he can change it on both ends actually. So it's going to be good. Again, we're not really in a situation right now where we can claim anybody head and shoulders. Even the Warriors. I mean, Kerr said it himself. He said, "Hey, don't worry about us." I mean, we were in the same exact position last year, and look what happened. So.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that response too much, though. It's kind of like making an excuse for poor performance. I don't really think I don't like that attitude, and usually it doesn't come to wish that you play well. You need to address the issues now. Don't use that as.
But one thing about Kerr is that he is one of the more right out of the pop stable. I mean, he's going to be upfront and honest, and he probably at least believes it too. So that's all I think with him. He's not going to dilly-dally around the situation. And
look at this! Look at this! This is the big move. Big move here. Big move. Lakers get Roy Hachimura from, and this is the guy I was tabbing on a lot of shows about Hachimura. This kid had 20 points. This is a huge pickup for the Lakers. Hachimura to the Lakers. This is a monster move for LA. I thought about it today when I saw his numbers yesterday. 20-point. Boy, this guy would be something on the Lakers. They get him. Hachimura to the Lakers. I think this is a pretty good move.
Yeah, that was on the hot stove this morning. Certainly, it looked like it might be the case. We're maybe just waiting for the confirmation to come down, but that one was already a pretty hot topic, and I wasn't sure that it would come necessarily, but we'll look into that certainly. But it was certainly something that was talked about quite hot and heavy on the stove this morning. When I was looking at the NBA notes, there was already some discussion that one was hot and in the works. So we'll see with Rui Hachimura coming over to the Lakers.
He was hurt a lot. He was hurt a lot during the year. When he came back off injured, it really spiked the Wizards, and he's a really good. Again, he's kind of like that Norman Powell guy on the Clippers who can come and give you 20 off the bench. But I think if you use him off the bench, he could definitely be a good addition. But again, with Westbrook in there, we'll see how that works. That's always the thing you got to worry about. You got a steady hand that can make 20 and hit shots. But that's a big acquisition for the Lakers, because that's someone I had my eyes on. Looks like the Lakers may have improved their scouting department now when I see moves like that, because that was always a big miss with them, as they could not identify the needs properly for their team. And they relied too much on, Phil can figure it out. Phil, or no, Pat Riley will figure it out. No, you need to help them out once in a while. Okay, help them out once in a while. All right, Ramon, continue that great success. I know we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
Thank you, Tony. See you then.
Got Ramon Scott here on Game Day Picks. Guys, we're here on Game Day Picks here Monday through Friday here at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you like and subscribe, set those notifications with us, and of course that you'll be here with us live and get the plays in real time. They're here at 3 Eastern Time. Someone thought I think Fuzzy Kong Balls thought we were an hour late today. No, we started at 3 Eastern Time, so we've been here. I don't think they changed the clock on us here. We don't. We did that about a few months ago, but we're probably a couple months away from a time change. Right? We're already in late January already. Boy, time is flying. So we've got another month and a half here before we change the clocks. I think with a spring forward, fall behind. So we'll have to move the clocks up in another hour, another month and a half or so. All right, let's continue on here on the show. Now it's time for my pick. We're going to college hoops tonight. Baylor facing Kansas here. We're going to take the Kansas Jayhawks here. We're going to take the 2 points here with Kansas in this one here. And let's reflect here on some of my notes I have on this game here. Real slim pickings today from the major conference schools here. Of course, Kansas, a really good mark, 16-3. They are on a 2-game losing streak in this one. They have some issues here with perimeter defense. But again, here looking at Baylor, the Baylor's numbers this year, they're a pretty good offensive team. But the problem I have with Baylor is they're last in Big 12 defensive efficiency. They're giving up 56% shooting inside. They're not a very good defensive team. And that is, to me, to the extreme. Is going good offense, last in defense. I think this Kansas team can exploit a team that's last in defensive efficiency in conference. I don't care where it's being played. You're giving me points with Kansas against the team that's ranked worst in defense in conference. I got to go with Kansas in this one. I don't like these teams that just don't play very good defense and are soft in the middle, like Baylor. 56% shooting inside the arc they're giving up. So we're going to take Kansas here at +2. Guys, check out TonySpeaks.com. I have a best bet right now over in the NBA tonight, so check me out there. Still looking at some of the college cards. If I have anything in college and more, it will be in the late steam category. But right now, I've got a best bet right now from the NBA. So get on board with it right now, and you can use that promo code TonyT at checkout, and you'll save 20% off on that as well if you would. All right, let's continue on here with Game Day Picks here, and it's time to recap the plays from today's show. Also, want to give notes, a little shout there to in the chat room today. We've got Latifa in the chat room, as well as Blake. Good shout out to Blake, Fuzzy Kong Balls as well, being very active in here, in there, bringing back the old times there with Tony Parker and Tim Duncan in a Ginobili, right? Yeah, those were the teams back there as well. All right, let's continue on here. Let's get to the recap. Mindy was on Northwestern money line -140 against Wisconsin. Ramon Hawks Bulls over 239.5. I'll be on Kansas here +2 here against Baylor. All right, let's get it, guys. Run on. Let's get that bag. You got it, brother. Let's get it tonight. Check them out over on the Discord, guys. Remember, we put the link to Discord. The conversation does continue over at Discord. We have a lot of input here from a lot of our community, and it is a private account, which means you must actually, let me see if I could sign into it here and show it to you guys. I got to sign in every time I put it on this browser for some reason, and I think I have already memorized the password since I do it every time. I usually do it every show, but I didn't. We were having some pretty good conversations before the show. That's why we're on a little late. You probably know what it was about anyway. So anyway, let's come over here and go in here to this one. I think I remembered I think I remember the password. It hasn't been a few days. Usually I'm already automatically logged into it. I think hey, it's logging in. That's a first. That is a first. Okay, so here we go. This is what our Discord looks like. A lot of great conversations between our community members. Mindy's in there, I'm in there, Ramon. A lot of content in there as they put in their picks and a lot of betting topic information up there in a mature fashion. A lot of text, not a whole lot of pounding on the chest, not a whole lot of self-promotion or I'm right, you're wrong kind of childish nonsense. We don't. It's more of it's pretty much for mature people, right? So right there, that's how it works. So check it out there. We do have 2 channels, Morning Steam there for a lot of conversations involving the Morning Steam. Of course, Mindy and Ramon are looking for input from you. Remember, the college basketball cards are massive, right? 100 plus games at a time. They're not going to cover all 100, so you guys can go in there and put in your requests for games, and they let you like covered there in college basketball. You can also put your picks in the Discord as well and share your thoughts here with the community members. We'll also have a lot of plans for this as well. Tony's Picks is another folder, more of a general type of stuff as well. And we're still cleaning it up in here. There's still some nonsense in the forum we're trying to clean up. But anyway, check it out there. Good stuff going on there. I'm still trying to learn how this thing works. So usually to clean up some of this stuff, it's not so bad. But that'll work. All right, guys, so you can check out all our content here on the Discord. So that's where the conversation continues when we're off the air, is go over to our Discord. Find the link in the chat. I have it pinned up there so you guys can get on there and get in on the conversation. Lots of good stuff happening there in our Discord. So get on over there. All right, that's going to do it for our show today. Let's go ahead and bring our crew from today's show. We're going to wait goodbye, guys. You guys have a great afternoon, evening. We'll talk with you again here tomorrow here on Game Day Picks.